I'm recording to the cloud.
Yeah.
I just recorded to your cloud, Max.
To my cloud.
Yep.
Welcome to my cloud. Okay, I hope this works. If not, we're gonna have to have Bob back. Bob Burg, everyone, citizens of the planet. Here we are. We're doing a fast one today. Had a lot of people show up. I can't tell if it's me or Bob. But we got a popular thing going on here. Author of The Go Giver, master of many things. And I got a question for Bob. And then I'm just going to sort of facilitate other people asking questions. If you have a question, raise that virtual hand of yours. I know I usually go sort of tribal here and let people interrupt, but today we're going to do it the right way. Today we're going to raise our hand. We're going to get in line. Here's the thing. If you've got a question, be quick with it. Like spit it out, like 15, 20 seconds. And Bob, I know we got a lot of people that want a PC here, so act accordingly. My question for you, Bob, is what is the most important question that you get?
What's the most important question that I get? In what regard? About what
Like
topic?
when you get it, you're like, young man, that is a very important question. Like the question that you love getting that should be answered here and now to help all of us.
I mean, it probably starts with, with what do you actually mean by go giver? Because I think what happens is people see the title of the book and they, as you know, we all approach the world from our own set of unconscious beliefs, and we all define different terms, different words differently according to those unconscious beliefs, that unconscious operating system we all operate from. And so when someone sees, the go-giver, they think it might be about just giving yourself away or being self-sacrificial, not caring about making a profit, or selling on the cheap or being taken advantage of. None of those, by the way, are true. But I think that's kind of one of those questions that comes up, and so really I like to just say that the term go giver is simply referring to that person who understands that shifting their focus, and this is really where it begins, shifting their focus from getting to giving. And when we say giving in this context, we simply mean constantly and consistently providing immense value to others, understanding that doing so is not only a more fulfilling way of conducting business, it is the most financially profitable way as well, but not for some kind of woo-woo, way out there, magical, mystical reasons. Oh, just give and good. No, it's actually coincides very nicely with human nature, and it comes down to this: when you're that person, Max, who can take your focus off yourself and place it on serving others, on discovering what they need, what they want, what they desire, when moving from a focus off of yourself onto helping to solve their challenges and problems, when moving from a focus on you to a focus on moving others to happiness. People feel good about you. They feel great about you. They want to get to know you. They like you. They trust you. They want to be in relationship with you. They want to do business with you. They want to tell the world about you, be your what we call personal walking ambassador.
Cool. All right. Who's got a question? Because we got Bob for 25, 24 more minutes now. Joe Young, I knew it was going to be you. Joe is the first here and first to raise his hand. Excellent. Absolutely. If you guys got questions, raise your hand, get in line. Joe, floor is yours.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, great to meet you. So I wanted to bounce something off of you, a technique that I've used. I thought it worked well. Wanted to get your thoughts, but what's your feeling about starting early with requesting the referral process? For instance, you're with a client, hey, we're going to make you successful. This is how we're going to do it. And when we're done, we want to go out and celebrate that. And I'd like you to be part of it. What's your take on using that type of approach, introducing the reference, collaboration, communication component early? Have you had success with it? What do you think about it? Or am I missing the mark here with that type of approach?
Well, I just think it depends on the person itself, themselves. It depends on the relationship you have with them. If you already at this point have a relationship where they feel so good about you, they know you, like you, trust you, where if this person's the type of person who is sort of that type, who you can tell they are a person who is a person who wants to be part of the, you know, that's that person who's a center of influence, who they want to feel as though they have influence with others. Well, something like that can work very well. Typically, what I do, the way I introduce referrals into the process early is when somebody has a question during whether it's the warm up part of the conversation, this is within the sales conversation, or an early part where they have a question. And I'll often, congratulate them on the question and affirm how good a question it is, and sort of plant the seed by saying, and this is assuming it was truthful, of course, that a very similar question was asked by someone who was referred to me by one of my valued clients. And it turns out that boom, and now I answer the question. Well, what I've done is I've planted the seed right there that I work through referrals, because this person who asked the question was someone who was referred to me by a very valued client. And I'll do this several times during the conversation, not exactly like that, of course, but mixing it up so that I'm planting seeds of referrals within the conversation itself. Then by the time we get to the end of the conversation, after the sale has been completed, and I go into what I call the referral bridge, which we can talk about later if someone is interested, they are already of the mindset that referrals are a natural part of the process. But certainly what you've done, first of all, it can work if it works for you. And that's the key. If you found good success with that already, and that seems to be something that is, that is sustainable, by all means, keep using it. I don't think there's ever any one way, but I think it does have to do with the relationship itself that you have and with the type of person that person is, because you don't want to have them feel defensive right from the beginning, that boom, if they do this, they're going to be asked for referrals, because there are certain people who, I always say there's 10%, and these are not researched figures. This is totally anecdotal, but just my experience and that of others, is there's about 10% of the people who, no matter how much they love you, they will not refer you to others. Because that's just who they are. They have their own issues with that. They don't want, so forth. There's 10% who will refer you whether you ask them or not, because that's just the way they are. I'm like that. If I have a good experience with someone, I want to tell everyone about it. I'd say there's 80% of the people who will refer you, but you need to approach it correctly and ask them in a way that not only is effective in the way you ask, but helps them to be very comfortable with the process itself. So again, it just depends on who you're speaking with.
I thought that's worth the price of admission right there. Planting seeds of referrals, Bob. We got Ed next. Ed, how are you doing? Strong beard, my friend.
Hi, Ed.
Thank you. I'm splendid. Hope everyone else is as well. My question is about the fable approach that you take to your books. And I'm wondering whether you tried writing them in another way first and then found that the message wasn't penetrating and came back to the fable style, or if you designed it that way or stumbled into it, how that came to be the essence of your delivery.
So, Ed, all of my books outside of the parables I've written with John David Mann, and the last one that I just wrote with Jeff West, have been how-to books. So my first one, which was called Endless Referrals, Network Your Everyday Contacts into Sales, that was a how-to book. It sold well. We've sold about 350,000 copies of it altogether. It's been in 3 editions. Another one of my how-to books has sold over 250,000. I think that's probably over 300,000. And then one more is done about those numbers. And I've had a couple of how-to books that tanked and didn't do well at all. But so the reason for doing the parable wasn't because the how-to wasn't working. It was just another way of putting out the message. Personally, I've always loved reading parables. And I mean, I read, how-to books as well, but I've also loved reading parables, because I think stories connect on a much deeper level, on a real heart-to-heart level. And I always thought it, that I would love to take the basic idea, the basic premise of endless referrals, which was that all things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust. Been saying that, writing that for 35 years, and turn that into a parable. Now, I am personally not a parable writer. I can tell a story from stage because you just tell a story from stage. It's a true story, whatever. A parable, while based on universal laws, truths, what have you, is by definition fiction. So, and I'm not a fiction writer. So when I met John David Mann, because he was co-author of I mean, not co-author, he was the editor-in-chief of a magazine I was writing for. And back then, even back then, he had a great reputation as a brilliant writer. I asked him to be the storyteller, the lead writer storyteller for this idea that I had, for the Go Giver. And that's how that came about. And then, it was very successful. And from there, we just kept doing more in the series. So yeah, it wasn't so much that it was because the other ones weren't, although certainly I think a parable actually does have a much greater chance of hitting big than a how-to does. But again, that's just because of the story aspect.
Yeah. Thank you, Bob. Good to see you, Ed. Gilliam and Gilliam, how am I doing?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Guillaume.
Guillaume, perfect. All right. No more mistakes for me. Guillaume,
It's
stage
okay.
is yours.
Bob, my question is, for people like us and in the context of referral, what do you see that people like us have the most difficulty giving that we should actually be giving?
So let me ask you, if I may, to clarify that, because I'm not sure I totally understood the question. When it comes to referrals, what should we be giving in terms of what, Guillaume?
I guess my question is maybe a broader question, but I just wanted to, suggest maybe you can answer it in our context of getting referrals if you wish, but maybe it's more of a general question. What do you see that people usually struggle giving that we should actually be giving more?
See, I'm not, that's where I'm kind of not understanding, and I apologize because it's
Oh,
probably
no,
just
it's okay.
it's not understanding. When you're talking about what we should be giving in terms of us giving referrals, or
No,
us,
giving
or what
it
we should be giving in order to
Yeah,
receive
like Bob,
referrals.
in general.
anything that's valuable that that people are giving that you see that you're
Oh.
like, yeah, I wish more people were comfortable giving
Mhm.
that thing. And Guillaume's sort of nodding, so I think that's what we're after.
Well,
here.
I mean, so when we talk about giving and giving value, so first let's look at what value really means, okay? And let's talk about value as with regard or in not opposition to, I guess in opposition to as it relates to price, okay? Because price is a dollar figure, okay? It's a dollar amount. It's finite. It simply is what it is. Value, on the other hand, is the relative worth or desirability of a thing, of something, to the end user or beholder. In other words, what is it about this thing, this product, service, concept, information, content, idea, what have you, that brings so much worth to another human being that they will willingly exchange, in this case, let's say, their money for this and be ecstatic that they did, while you also make a very, very healthy profit. This would be like very quickly, the accountant who you hire to do your taxes, and she charges you $1,000. That's her fee or price. But what does she give you in exchange? Well, she saves you $5,000 in taxes. She saves you countless hours of time. She provides you and your family with the security and the peace of mind of knowing it was done correctly. She gave you well over $5,000 in value in exchange for $1,000 fee or payment. So you feel great about it, right? Because you received more than what you paid for. And she feels great because it was worth it to her to exchange her energy, her knowledge, her what have you, for that $1,000. In fact, in any free market-based exchange, and when I say free market, I simply mean no one's forced to do business with one another. In any free market-based exchange, there should always be two profits, the buyer profits and the seller profits, because each of them come away better off afterwards than they were beforehand. Now let's look deeper into value with one thing. Remember, it's the relative worth or desirability, which means value is always in the eyes of the beholder. It's not what we feel is of value that we can give. It's not what we think they should think is of value that we should give. It's what they believe is of value. So let's say you're in the relationship building process with this person. What is it that they need, want, and desire from you in order to have those know, like, and trust feelings toward you? Well, I can answer that in 3 words. I don't know. And neither do you, nor does anyone else, because as human beings, we're all individuals and we all value different things in different ways. So your job and my job is to discover that in that person by getting to know them, by asking the right questions, by listening, by doing our research, and really determining what it is that that person is going to find to be of value and give them more of that.
I'm getting some prime notes here, Bob. I don't know about anybody else, but I can thank you.
So here's what I took away from your answer is what we should be giving more is our ability, giving more of is our open-mindedness and an ability to discover what people.
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay,
Good
thanks.
recap.
Thank you.
All right, we got Kevin, we got Jeff, we got Chris. Chris, I better not see you driving. I don't want to be on Dateline News because something bad happened to Chris on Beers with Max. That doesn't rhyme. Kevin, what do you got?
Hey, Bob. Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate your comments there about value
Kevin.
in the eyes of the consumer there. So, but my question is, what are some tools and tactics you find work well in fishing for problems that a client might need help with without coming off as too pushy and really self-serving and developing business opportunities?
Well, so to me, there are 2 levels of issues that clients have. And let's say you have or prospective customers, prospective clients that they have. So let's say you work a niche market, and you might have several niche markets, but we're talking about one. You probably, based on your experience with this marketplace, have a general idea of their problems, right? You know what their general situations are, like spin selling, their problems, the implications, right? Okay, we know that. And you go deeper, and as individuals, they also have a deeper set of problems, right? So when you can ask questions that bring out not so much the general issues, which you're more discussing because you're a fellow professional with them, but being able to delve in and dive into those deeper problems, and then add insights that help them see challenges they have that they might not even know they have, or opportunities they have that they may not even know they have, right? You are at that point providing a lot of value to them that is so much more than the typical salesperson they deal with or entrepreneur they deal with, who is just, at that surface with them, okay? As far as asking those questions, but without seeming to be pushy, they're not going to find those pushy if there's something that they generally find to be of value. So if you're asking them something and you're going into that deeper level, okay, and you're seeing something that they did not know necessarily that was an issue, or something you just came across that you're able to share with them, they're seeing you as a resource. They're not going to be offended as a resource. Now, again, we're looking at this as you're asking it in a proper way, and so I think the way we come across and how we ask questions has a lot to do with it. But as far as the questions themselves, there's no reason why they should find that to be pushy or offensive in any way when it's adding value to their lives and giving them an opportunity to prosper.
I like the question, Kevin. Good to see you.
Great
Jeff.
question.
World Traveler.
All right. Hey, Bob. Thanks, Max. So in your experience, what's the best way to really approach the referral? So got a good client, they're using your product or service multiple times. What's the best way to really approach them and go, hey, okay, you like what I do. Can you introduce me to someone? Is it more directive or is it more open-ended? Any advice would be great.
So great question, Jeff. Let me share with you something I put together years ago that works very, very well. And I'll share what it is, and then we'll go through it and see why it works so well. So the first thing is and this is again, assuming just as you said, they're happy with the product or service, they're happy with you, they know, like, and trust you. Okay. What I like to do is ask what I call utilize what I call the referral bridge. Now, what is a bridge? Well, a bridge in the regular world is just a medium that transports a person from one safe piece of land to another. Same in the referral world. The referral bridge or bridge phrase is a phrase that takes you from one safe piece of land, the know, like, and trust relationship with this client referral source, to another safe piece of land. That place where you can ask for the referral, where both you and they feel very comfortable with the process. It's key that both of you feel very comfortable with the process. Okay, so it begins like this. Okay, and let's say his name is Don. Okay, and you say, Don, as more and more of my business is now through referrals and introductions, I find it's helpful to partner with my friends and clients such as you. Can we take a few quick minutes and run past the names of some other people I might also be able to help? Okay, so let's go through this again. And by the way, if you're not currently doing a lot of your business through referrals, so you don't feel good saying as more and more of my business, and it will happen like that. But for right now, if you don't, you could always say, as I'm in the process of, or you say, Don, I'm in the process of expanding my referral business, and I find it's helpful too. So say whatever the truth is, that's what you say. But you can go with that first one for now, or that one for now, and then pretty soon it will be, as more and more of my business is through referrals and introductions. And I like adding the word "and" introductions. I learned that from Bill Cates, who's a referral authority, original referral coach.com out of, or referralcoach.com, excuse me, out of Maryland, who does a lot of work with financial advisors, because he says that introductions is even a little more personal, so I like to use both of them. So again, it would be done as more and more of my business is now through referrals. I find it helpful to partner with my clients and friends such as you. Can we take a few quick minutes and run through the names of some other people I might also be able to help? So let's go through this phrase by phrase. So Don, as more and more of my business is now through referrals and introduction. So what you've done is you've now segued into letting him know this is what to expect. This is all part of making him comfortable, but you're doing it in a way with real good emotional posture. There's no nervousness there. There's no, oh gosh, okay, here it is, going to ask the big question. It's just and this is why you should rehearse it 100 times, 200 times, before you do it, right? And so as more and more of my business is now through referrals and introductions, I find it helpful, and I like to say helpful because it's helpful, but it's also not necessary. It's just helpful. Again, it's that emotional posture. What is emotional posture? It's when you care, but not that much. Okay. And that's a very attractive way to be. I guess you could say emotional posture is really when your sense of happiness is not dependent upon any particular result. Okay, because the more attached we are or desperate for a certain result, the less attractive we are because it comes across. It's that old what they used to call commission breath, right? And it would be the same when asking for referrals and introductions. So I find it's helpful to partner with my clients and friends, or you to friends and clients, whatever, such as you. Now, here's the big part of can we take a few quick minutes and run past the names? Now, this is what I call fast language or quick language. We're not saying it fast, but the wording we're going to use implies correctly that we're not going to take up a lot of their time. Again, we want this person to feel very comfortable in the process. Can we take a few quick minutes and run past? Okay. And then the names of some other people I might also be able to help. Now, notice I said might also be able to help. Why didn't I just say who I can definitely also help? Don't I have confidence in what I'm doing? Yeah. But we also know that not everyone's going to be interested. And we also want to make sure he knows that he can be comfortable, that we're not going to come across aggressively or, pushy or in a way that's going to in any way be inappropriate. We're giving him what we call the out or back door. It's that feeling of emotional autonomy that, you know, he knows that anyone he refers is not going to feel pressured in any way. And, you know, my law, what I call Burg's law of the out is, you know, the bigger the out or backdoor you give someone to take, the less they'll feel the need to take it. You're not giving them the out so that they won't take it, so that they'll take it. You're giving them the out so they feel so comfortable with you, they won't feel the need to take it. Okay. Can we take a
So
few
Bob, we
minutes,
got 3 more minutes with you.
We're gonna, well, let's go another 10 then, Max, because I know we have a couple more questions. You want to go another 5 or 10?
I'm not afraid to take another 10 with you. For everyone that's on the
Let's do it.
call, we got to thank Bob. We're going to get another 10 minutes with Bob. Thank you for that. Afterwards, we're going to do a little bit of networking, everybody. If you want to meet some people, you want to practice giving, you want to practice asking for referrals, that's coming up in 10 minutes. Stick around. Chris or Bob, if you want to add more to that, because like you are a mad scientist and that was an absolute master class. So go on if you'd like. And we got Chris waiting here. That's
Okay.
it.
So that last part of it was who I might also be able to help. Now, at that point, the person's probably going to say, yeah, you know, that's fine. But if they reflexively say, well, I don't know if I, you know, would be able to think of anyone, or I don't know if I know anyone. Okay, now it's usually not going to happen when you ask as you did, but every so often it will. When that happens, you don't want to be defensive about it. You want to be very, you know, very calm and very serene about it. Let them, don't interrupt them. Let them finish saying that. And then you simply say, oh, that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a couple of really fun ways to think of some people that you would like to, you know, for me to possibly help. And if you come up with a couple of names, great. If not, we can always revisit it another time. So again, we're making that person feel really comfortable. Now, Max, would you like me to take a couple minutes and go through the referral asking process or no? Or do you want to just open it up to?
I will. Yes, I will. Yeah.
So
everyone's shaking their head. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, this is going to depend on what type of business you are in and so forth, but you can take the basic principles regardless and apply it to what you do. Okay. So what happens is at this point, when you've got this person's buy-in and agreement for you asking for referrals, most salespeople will say, do you know anybody who, or who do you know who, you know, might like to, so forth. Now, the issue with that, and I learned this from Tom Hopkins 40 years ago in his classic, How to Master the Art of Selling. The challenge with that is that we all know 250, 300 people directly or indirectly, right? So when we say, who do you know, or do you know anyone who, a collage of 250, 300 people go dancing past their head, they can't identify anyone. And because they want to please you, right? They know, like, and trust you. They want to please you. They want to help people who they know. They start to panic a little bit, you know, unconsciously. And that's when they say, well, I can't think of anybody right now, but when I do, I'll let you know. Right. Which that's not a good thing. We don't want to go that route. And so we want to make it easy for them to come up with qualified names. And again, I learned this from Tom Hopkins, so I want to credit him for this. So let's say you're talking to, again, Don, and Don, you know, is an, so what Tom suggests is, rather than just ask general questions like that, create, you know, individual small funnels for them to be able to easily come up with people's names, individual frames. So let's say Don is a golfer, and you might say, Don, I know you golf a lot. He said, oh gosh, yeah, I love it. I play every Sunday afternoon. Do you play with different people or kind of the same force? Oh no, same people every time. Harry Brown, Michael Cloud, Dr. Mary Ruart, the 4 of us, we have been golfing buddies for years. Boom. He's just come up with 3 names. Okay. Now you would say, do you feel that Harry or Michael or Dr. Mary might be open to or interested in or would need to? Okay. Now this 3 names. Now it might be all 3, might be 2, 1, none of them. Doesn't matter. He now has the confidence to, you know, you've set him up. You've created the environment for him to win. Okay. He knows he can come up with names. Now you take it to another frame. You know, he's a member of his local Rotary Club. And so you don't ask, is there anyone in Rotary? It might be, again, too big a frame, but you'd say, is there anyone in your Rotary club who, every week you sit next to, or, serve on a committee with, or you're particularly good friends with? Oh yeah, there's 2 people, boom and boom. And now he comes up with those names. So we go through 3 or 4 different frames of people. Of course, we want to prepare for this earlier. And we also have gotten to know him and some of his hobbies and some of his recreation and some of the groups he's in, or whatever he does. And so, again, this is very general and generic, but you can take this and apply it to niche groups you're working with, types of organizations people are involved in, and so forth.
You just changed the way I prepare for calls, Bob.
Oh, thanks, Max.
My wife's going to think I'm crazy when I'm practicing in front of the mirror tonight. So just saying. Chris, thank you for remaining stationary and safe in your car there. Welcome.
Thank you, Chris. Hi.
Hey, Bob, Max, great job on creating virtual cheers. I see a lot of friends here. Again, it's like Max, Joe, Marnie, and we got Bob.
Spit it out, Chris.
Bob, first question. One, I would love to have you as a guest, and I don't know how to do that, but I will reach out to you. And we've spoken before, but I'd like to follow up to have you on the Author Launchpad. The second one,
Bob at Burg.com, BOB@BURG.com. Just email me, and Kim will get back with you and set something up.
I appreciate that, Bob. And the second one is, as you talk about referrals now and people are coming to you, you've had so many books and so much success. Do you now try and move people into consulting, into your community, the giving community? Like, where do you move, and as an established author, so that it continues to build your revenue and your network?
Yeah, so we have my business partner Kathy Tagenel and I have several different aspects of our business. So I don't really travel to speak anymore. Okay, I'm pretty much at 66 years old. I've taken myself off the road. So I do virtual keynotes. I charge a lot less, but hey, the commute's great. It's downstairs. And so I do those, but I don't get on a plane anymore. But Kathy and I hold about every 2 or 3 months, we hold a Go Giver Beyond the Mastermind event, which is only 8 people. And there's 2 of my certified Go Giver speaker coaches, and Kathy and me. And we're starting a thing with Jeff West, who's the co-author of my newest book on objections. He and I and Chris Angeli, we're doing a what's called Sales Wise Live, which is going to be a big sales conference in West Palm Beach. We're doing that in a few months, and we're thinking of doing those like every 3 months. So, but none of these I have to get on a plane for. And then we have our Go Giver Success Alliance mentorship community, which meets the first Wednesday of every month on Zoom. Again, I do it right from here. And we have our certified Go Giver speaker program, which is a licensing program of speakers all over the world who speak on the Go Giver Endless Referrals message. Again, everything I do is from right here. So I've pretty much set up everything with a theme that that I don't have to, really leave the house or leave town, pretty much, if I don't want to at this point. But yeah, that's how we do it. And we have and I'm just going to put this in the chat. It all kind of starts from the daily impact email that I put out Monday through Friday. And that's comes out early in the morning. It's always a very value-based, content-based email. And then at the bottom, we usually are promoting something.
That's great. It's a great model, Bob. Thank you.
Yeah, we do. By the way, so we send out a solo email on Saturday. So anybody who subscribes, unfortunately, the first thing you're going to get is a solo mailing tomorrow. But please know that that's just on Saturdays. The rest of the week is all value.
Thank you so much. Bob. I know a lot of people got a lot out of this, but I got some strong notes here. Cheers to you, Bob. Chris, thanks for asking the softball productized question. I think he's already gone. Oh no, he's here. Thank you. I was taking notes. Anybody who wants to stick around, meet some folks. Bob, is Bob gone? No, Bob's still here. Yeah, all set. I don't want to kick you out unless I have to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to another Bob. I thought you were bringing up
like
somebody.
you, Bob. Yeah. Okay. The Burg. Thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you, everybody. It was great being with you.
Enjoy Jupiter.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Good job, Bob.
Lots of familiar faces here. Good to see all of you. Got some new faces. Welcome. Beers with Max Live. That's kind of what we do. Dylan, what's up? So now I wait and people slowly break off. And okay, we've stabilized. Well, we kind of stabilized here. Andrew, how's it going? Nope, we're getting some sign-offs. Cool.
Hey,
All right,
Max,
now we're
38.
back to a
That's the
normal crew.
largest I've seen you pack into Cheers on a Friday.
Yeah, well, there was 110 signups, so I was like, I don't know how that's gonna work, but Marnie, thank you so much for helping me tend the flock.
You bet.
And so let's do this. I got some time here. If you'd like to go, absolutely. For the remainder of us, let's do a quick what do you do? If you know me, I'll be gentle. But Joe, what do you
Really?
do? Well, I don't know. I say that, and you know why? It's because I'm
If
drinking
you're
a Guinness
still
Zero.
here, you
I'm drinking a
know
zero.
exactly
So
how gentle he'll be, and you're okay with it.
you know what, Marnie? Why don't you start? What do you do?
I'm Marnie Stockman, and I wrote the book Lead It Like Lasso. Prior to that, I had a software company that I sold. So I educate folks on leadership.
Nice.
Oh, you
Marnie's
know what?
very
I'm gonna
cool.
slap my LinkedIn in the chat if anybody wants to connect. How's that?
Yeah. Big recommendation on that book. It's in the pile of nonsensical papers on my desk because I had too many conversations this week. Kevin.
Yeah, so my name is Kevin Darbelnay, founder and principal consultant at Strategy Matrix. So my focus is on accelerating innovation and streamlining project operations and consumer packaged goods industry. So leverage my 17 years at Nestle, leading large engineering projects and innovation project teams, to drive growth. So really
Nice.
glad to connect with everyone here and
yeah, drop your LinkedIn in the chat ski. Joe Young, a repeating offender. Good to
Yes,
see
Joe
you.
Young here. I help companies and individuals sell better and grow.
Nice. What'd you think of Bob and the referrals?
Loved it. I loved it. And the seed planting, Marty chimed in there. But one other point I would have loved to have brought in this sort of philosophical component to the discussion, pulling a page from sourcing and procurement. In sourcing and procurement, you don't squeeze a vendor too tightly because if they're not making enough money, their business doesn't run well. The converse of that, when you ask for a referral, your company and your product and service do better because of new business. So your existing customer, the person giving you that referral, should be incented to help you grow because they benefit too. And I think that's an important part to bring up. Don't be so shy about referrals thinking, oh, it's all for me. I'm greedy. I'm just going to make a ton of money. Your existing customers benefit too, even if it's only from getting new ideas from that new referral. So I wanted to bring that up.
Joe, I saw your question when you put it in the chat, and I don't know how, like when you put it in the original statement by Max, and I was like, oh, I totally want to hear Bob's answer to this and your take on it, because I absolutely chewed out a sales guy one time. I was a customer success human. He walked in hot, didn't know that there was a whole customer success problem going on. And he was like, I want a referral from you. I literally called the CEO of the company and said, just so you know, you're about to get a call from this sales guy because I laid him out. So I loved both the way your approach of it and Bob's approach, that you have to have the right relationship to be able to make the statement early on, and the way you said it, because I got like a little PTSD when I saw your question. I was like, oh, I've definitely chewed someone out for doing that before.
Yeah, here's the thing too, Marty, and I meant it for new relationships, new clients, and new projects, setting the tone that we are going to absolutely crush it, guys. And when we're done, I want you to say some nice things about us and this project if you're comfortable. So mine was a new relationship, planning it early. The other would be existing, and hey, will you say some nice things about me? But I was glad we aligned on planting the seed early. And Marty, you chimed in too. Like, set the expectation.
All right. Get a room, you two.
Key point. Give them an out.
We got things to do. Call the CEO if you don't like it.
Good job holding us on time.
Yeah. Kevin, good to see you. Welcome. First timer. Don't be afraid. You're on mute though. Good posture.
Yeah, first time caller, long time listener. Thank you so much, Mac.
Oh, okay. Very cool. What do you do?
So I'm the tenacious leader. I help founders build out their sales teams. I'm more of a how do you build a successful startup sales team as you start it up. You don't hire guns to come in. You got to build a team and a culture around your sales strategy. So I'm not the marketing guy.
Any particular types of companies?
A lot of SaaS and IT, business to business. Typical people that get that funding and they're ready to start scaling and they need help.
Yeah, Marnie knows something about that. Marnie's good people. Ed, what do you do, Ed?
I work with middle market industrial manufacturers to help them take the rigor and mindset and process engineering and continuous improvement that characterizes their manufacturing and their operations and bring that over and apply it to revenue growth, which is normally run in a much more lackadaisical and ad hoc sort of a way. And so by bringing that rigor and that precision and that process mindset to board of directors and strategy through digital marketing to all aspects of sales and to the technology that creates the buyer experience and enhances the effectiveness of the sales marketing team. And most of them are capital equipment manufacturers. A number are actually U.S. subsidiaries of German companies. But I work really with any U.S. manufacturer doing kind of industrial stuff. I'm also an independent board director.
Nice. Ed's been here a while. Good to see you, Ed. Beers with Max, I mean. Got you. Brian, first timer. First timer.
I guess first time on one of these calls. Yeah.
The lives, yeah.
We've done beers with Max,
a one-on-one. We threw down a one-on-one beer, but
exactly
the live thing,
there you go.
Headlights. What do you do?
Yes. What do? I am an executive coach, strategic coach for managed services providers. So I help MSPs grow their businesses and scale towards exit. So work one-on-one with CEOs of managed services providers.
Yeah. Do you? I'm having like an outer body experience. You know Marnie, right?
No, we connected earlier. I was like, how have we never been connected? And so here we go. I know your former business partner, at least, from ScalePad. So.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, cool. And then Hot Wheels, Chris down there.
There we go.
Also a multi-time offender of the lives.
Oh yeah, I've got a drinking problem on Fridays with you. I help nonfiction authors make great money, and I help experts simplify their message.
Yeah, there you go. It's not a drinking
smart
problem.
Way to do that is with
problem.
a sentence and a period. Like, I help them simplify their message. Does not need further explanation. Well played.
I've learned that there's a golf. What'd you say, Max? There is a tee box message.
Tee box pitch. Everyone talks about the elevator pitch, and then there's the tee box pitch where people ask you, but they don't actually want to know. They're just humoring you.
The courtesy.
Yeah, it's the courtesy pitch. Yeah, cool. Well, thanks everyone for playing. I think I don't know what happened, Marnie, with like where the recording is, but I may hit you up if the whole thing doesn't show
So
up
I
in my
did
cloud.
say record to cloud, and then I made it so you could record, and I saw it saying a second time that it was recording. So I believe there are double versions of it. But
It's still recording
somewhere.
Yeah, we know it's recording now, but like before it was.
But hunt me down. You know where to find me. All the
we
places.
got our symbols mixed
like
up.
Roy Kent, I'm here, there, and every effing way.
Maybe not gonna. Can I have that file, Marty? Can I have that file?
It's fine.
Yeah, it didn't turn out to be as ridiculous as I thought. So
I was a little frenetic at the beginning, but it was all good. Yeah.
Not everybody's ready for a camera. Has anyone not heard the story of the shower incident on the live?
I know
Joe was there. I think. Yeah, so you hear about these things on like they're not real, but no, we actually had like someone in the shower turn their camera on a live workshop call. So it does happen in real life, and so like if you're not wearing pants, please don't stand up.
Yeah, when all of those people said declined it. I was like, I'm not going to ask again. You might be showering.
Yeah, right. They'll hit the wrong button. It's like, oh
No.
boy.
Nope.
Yeah, I've learned to leave people alone and do not shame them for being off
Yeah.
camera. You never know
Yeah.
what you're gonna get. But yeah, so I have not booked my next live session, but I've got my eyes on Jared Fuller, who just did a big book launch on the book Nearbound. So I got a lot of people that are really popular telling me that like this is going to be big, so I'd pick it up.
Have you read it?
I
Yeah.
skimmed it. I
What's
got it
the-
like literally yesterday. It arrived
Okay.
at my home yesterday. He did a book launch in Paris on Wednesday, so it's only been out a few days.
Nearbound?
Nearbound, currently $6 on Amazon. He's doing a at cost thing for the first week. So, yeah, and turns out I'm in there. It's like one of the greatest case studies that I forgot about, and there's like a whole chapter on me. So I'm on like an emotional high right now. But it's also a good book. It's like you don't have to flip to page 140
Just read that.
halfway through. You don't have to flip to page 140 halfway through. Start from the beginning. Treat yourself. Thanks everybody.
Thanks, Max.
You
Nice work.
guys.
Have a great
Thank you,
evening.
guys.
See you on the LinkedIn's.
Great job, Max.
Cheers.